Yo folks, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be covering upcoming gacha and mobile for the month of March. Let's jump right into this. First things being is Engage Kill. Now, this is going to be the newest RPG by Square Enix, tactical version, 3D aspects to it. I think if you've loved the Engage Kill anime, this is something to check out. But most of all, it's just something a little bit different and to spice up the scene because we don't get any decent 3D RPGs, that is for sure. Then we also have Uncharted Water's Origin. It's set to launch worldwide March 7th. And I think the most interesting thing about this is going to be a seafaring RPG. I'm not sure if it's going to have gacha elements to it. Just note there is going to be tactical RPG, so like Final Fantasy Tactics style. And then you're going to be managing your crews, you're going to be fishing. And you're going to be seafaring. There's going to be like boat battles. There seems to be a lot going on with this game, so I'm really curious if it's actually going to be good, and the fact that they're touting it to be worldwide and they're going to have multiple language supports for it, because that doesn't really happen often with our mobile games, especially something like this. We also have Takt.Op that's going to be getting a CBTs for Southeast Asia, specifically from March 16th through March 23rd. So if you're in the regions of Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, my home country, Philippines, and Indonesia, other SEA regions, then you'll get to play, hopefully, if you can get into it. I am really curious of everyone's thoughts who gets to play the game, so I'll be perusing the Reddits. But most of all, this is one of my most anticipated gacha for 2023. It's set to launch June 2023 in JP. Seeing as how it's getting an SEA CBT, that means it's probably going to get an EN release sometime in the future, because usually Southeast Asia releases do have some English translations in it, specifically in the menus. Next up, we have Reverse Collapse Codename Bakery. Now, this is going to be based off of the Girls Frontline universe, so check that out. And then, not to mention, it's going to be happening March 10th through March 14th. You can submit the forms and everything. There is some stuff that you can see on Steam, but the most important part is that this is a tactical, gritty, dark RPG, and if anything, Girls Frontline usually knows how to handle their stuff, and I'm hoping this will be a nice entrant into the Girls Frontline series. Next up, we have The Mighty Doom. Now, this is set to launch March 21st. I know it's not a gacha, but if you're into like roguelike shooters, I think this is going to be one of the best ones to play for the month of March. It's going to have the roguelike elements and all sorts of things, so all the success for it, and we'll see more to come. Next up, we have Devil May Cry Peak of Combat. I'm speculating on this one, not guaranteed for the month of March, but mostly because I love the Devil May Cry series. I think just another more action RPG experience on our mobile devices would be pretty cool to see. Next up, we have the games that have released, and exciting ones. Limbus Company, first impressions on it, I loved it. And they are fixing the free-to-play aspects. Before, they didn't have dailies that give out lunacy, which is the summon currency. Now, they've been giving out tickets for 3-star summons, just lots of features where we get the roadmap. And they're also adding features, of course, to get more lunacy and all that. So Limbus Company just seems to be heavily supported by Project Moon. The gameplay aspects is not your typical idle or turn-based gacha. So if you want something different and you want to hear my opinions on it, I definitely think it's going to be one of my favorite games of 2023. Right now, it's like maybe like in my top 3, but that's just because it's really early on and we're only in March. Next up, we have Fate Fantasy Strategy RPG. Now, this just released as well in early access specifically. I'm only talking about it because it reminds me of Fire Emblem and Langrisser. So if you've liked those tactical RPG style games, I think it's something to check out. It's in early access, so be wary about purchases and everything. But overall, it looks pretty decent. We also have Innocence that just released in US and Canada specifically. And I really like this game for its more beat 'em up style and more anime aspects. So if you wanted something that's like that, then I think this is going to be a really good entrant. It's not your typical turn-based, and it's not like your open world action RPG like Genshin. So it is like a mix or a happy in-between of that, and overall, decent graphics. I highly recommend folks to just check it out in case you want something a little bit different. We also have Street Fighter Duel. Now, this is going to be your typical idle card RPG. There's VIP systems and all that. Check out FG for like a full review on it. I'm just saying, I really love the latest Cammy taunt because this is exactly what I wanted folks to see. Next up, we have Volzerk. This is going to be getting an EN patch. So now you can play this monster tamer whatever language that you want. But most of all, it's just going to be accessible to everyone, and that's just really nice to see. Next up, we got the upcoming gacha that I'm actually excited for, like for real, and that's going to be Higan Eruthyll. It's going to be globally launching on April 6th. It's going to be real-time tactical RPG, however way you want to view it. But overall, it's a great game. I highly recommend folks to check it out. It's already soft launched in Canada and some other regions, but for the most part, April 6th is going to be looking really awesome. We also have Honkai Star Rail. Now, this has a speculative date of April 26th based off of the iOS. Most of all though, this is probably going to be my favorite gacha just based off of the CBTs and everything. I'm not trying to gush about it too hard, but just note, this is definitely worth your time in case you want a turn-based RPG. If you're looking for something like Genshin that's more action-based, maybe hold off. But one thing's for sure, it does not lack content. It definitely has the chops to be like a AAA game, and I really love it. And then we have the JJK Phantom Parade releasing 2023, a little bit later. Now there's a new trailer and everything with it. I really like it. I'm hoping they fix like the UI bits with the way the health and like I guess the spirit gauge looks. But overall, I just want this to release with no hiccups and no issues, and I am okay with the delay so long as that actually happens. We also have Black Clover Rise of the Wizard King that's now out for pre-registrations. Overall, I'm very excited for this one. They're trying to do a all-around release where it's not just going to be JP and KR. They're going to do JP, KR, SEA, and Global, something to that nature where it's going to be available to the masses. And I think that's just really cool because not a lot of gacha games try to release in that many regions at once. I think one of the few successes, of course, is Genshin Impact. Off the top of my head, there hasn't been too many like huge IP gacha games that would release to the masses like that. So Black Clover Mobile, I'm super excited and I want to see what it can do once it finally releases, hopefully in 2023. And we have Wuthering Waves news, super exciting. There's a couple new characters teased, first encounter. All I know is that I'm super excited to see Wuthering Waves post any news and all the different waifus that are looking pretty spicy. Okay, let's jump into the revenue bits. This is going to be the final portions. And just note, just because it's in red does not mean the game is shutting down or it's bad or anything like that. It just means they didn't make as much money as the previous month. But one thing to take note of is we go from like, I don't know, 4 million to 100K. Maybe you should be worried. But if it's like 900K to like 500K to 400K, that's fine. As long as it's not like, you know, 4 million to 100. That's really serious. Anyways, the top grossers are going to be Blue Archive. You know, they made a lot comparative to the previous month. And then we also have Epic 7, and then not to mention Heavens Burns Red absolutely killing it. But the biggest things is Nikkei Makima got her code off, so everyone's super happy about that. And that means everyone is pulling for Makima in Nikkei. If you haven't already, check that out. Also, Gamer Subs, they have some cups releasing for the month of March. There's going to be weekly releases. So in case you guys are interested, links in the description, 10% off, and it really supports the channel. Love you guys for that. But yeah, that is going to be the month of March. A little slow, but I'm anticipating there's going to be some surprise releases. You never know what happens. And I'm really loving Limbus Company. I definitely recommend folks to check it out. And Honkai Star Rail, April, it's looking good. I'm super excited for everything. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram in case you want to see me IRL, con stuff, and all that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and see you guys in the next one.